On the unstable SMP, thousands of players have tried to rule the server. Every single one failed, except one, Lettuce K, the only king Unstable has ever had. And the craziest part? He didn't start as a monster. He started as a victim. Lettuce began with nothing, no gear, no allies, no protection. He got pushed from place to place until he was trapped inside a corrupt mining city. A city where powerful players forced people to mine diamonds to earn their freedom. Work, core, die. Inside those walls, Lettuce made a promise. If he ever escaped, he'd erase corruption from the server forever. But he wasn't strong enough to leave. Not alone. Until one day, another player was forced into the city. This new player didn't submit. He outsmarted the corrupt leaders and freed everyone, including Lettuce. Lettuce looked at that player like a hero, and that player was me. After escaping, Lettuce didn't go back to normal survival. He went to war. Over the next year, he formed a justice group called Law and started hunting players he believed were corrupt. At first, it looked like he was saving the server, but Lettuce realized something. On Unstable, good intentions don't matter. Power does. And if he truly wanted to fix the server, he believed he needed the highest power possible, a crown. But Unstable has no rules. Nobody wants a king. So Lettuce did something brutal. He sent 1,000 of his own lawmen to their deaths, then used the massacre to spark fear across the server. And in that chaos, he called for an election he planned to win, an election he rigged. But the player who saved him, the player who knew his real story, saw right through it. Me. So I ran against him. And that's when Lettuce stopped acting like a hero. He blackmailed me. He framed me. He even tried to kill me. But none of it worked. And when he realized he might actually lose, he didn't accept it. He canceled the election and declared himself king anyway. He called himself the interim leader. He said it was for safety. But everyone knew the truth. This wasn't safety. This was a desperate power grab. Then he crossed the line. He kidnapped my best friend, Theo. And he gave me an ultimatum. Endorse him, or Theo suffers. Then they dragged me away, straight to Law Prison. At Law HQ, Lettuce personally searched me. He wanted to make sure I had nothing that could help me escape. And then he did something worse. He forced Curse of Binding armor onto me. Armor I couldn't remove unless I died. Just to make sure you don't try anything. Then he locked me in a prison cell, with a guard watching me 24/7. The prison was simple, but it was perfect. No food, no tools, no way out. And now everything felt impossible. I had to escape. I had to find Theo, and I had to stop a man with an army of thousands before he turned the server into his kingdom. But on Unstable, the moment you think you're out of options, that's when something unpredictable happens. The first few hours in that cell felt endless. The guard didn't speak. He just stared at me. Every time I moved, he adjusted. Every time I stood near the wall, he tightened his grip on his sword. Lettuce had thought of everything. No items. No food. Curse of Binding armor glued to my body. And worst of all, Theo was somewhere out there, alone, probably thinking I had abandoned him. I tried talking to the guard. Nothing. I tried pretending to give up. Still nothing. But then something strange happened. The lights flickered. Just for a second. The guard turned his head. And in that tiny moment, I realized something important. This prison wasn't invincible. It just relied on control. And control can break. A few minutes later, the lights cut out again. Longer this time. I heard shouting from somewhere deeper inside the base. Footsteps. Steel clashing. Someone was fighting. The guard hesitated. That hesitation was all I needed. I rushed forward. He swung, but he was panicked. Sloppy. For the first time since being locked up, I saw fear in a lawman's eyes. The prison door opened, and in the darkness, a familiar voice whispered, "Move now." I didn't ask questions. I ran. Through corridors. Past fallen guards. Alarms screaming overhead. Whoever freed me knew the layout. Knew the blind spots. Knew exactly when to move. We reached the outer gate. The lights flickered one last time. Then the entire system shut down. As we escaped into the night, I looked back at Law HQ. Burning torches. Shouting commanders. Chaos everywhere. Lettuce thought he controlled the server. But control is fragile. And now, I was free. Theo was still out there. And this time, I wasn't running from Lettuce. I was coming for him.